98.4. Let's hit you real quick. Oh, that's weird. It says you're gay.
Go to my Discord, link in the description below. I'll say it again. Go to my Discord, link in the description below. And shout out to Denji. His link may or may not be in the description. His link may or may not be in the description below. And I hope you guys like it. And let's get into it. Respectfully. There's no summary, so after All Might and the Sludge villain attacks Bakugo, Aizuki hears a boom, so he runs to see maybe another hero fight before he gives up his dreams. But he sees the hero's not going to help, so he looks to see fire and destruction everywhere. Then he sees Kachan, and they lock eyes. And Aizuku's body is moving on its own. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't. And so while the heroes yell, "Kid, come back!" but the boy seemingly ignores them. Then Aizuku then throws his backpack, books hitting the Sludge villain's eye. Then the Sludge villain takes the book off of himself and says, "Kid, what you doing?" And so Aizuku says, "I have to save him." Starting to peel Kachan, but it didn't work. The Sludge villain grins, punching him into a building. While the heroes try to save, Bakugo creates more explosions, not trying to get out. But then the Sludge villain starts to beat Aizuku down. And the Sludge villain's grinning. "Kid, you're the reason All Might almost had me, so you're gonna pay by dying." And so then he cocks back his fist, but then something happens. He punches, but there's some kind of green force stopping him. So he keeps on punching and punching, but he can't break through. And so then Aizuku stands up on shaky legs. And so then he cocks back his fist and yells, "Smash!" And on impact, a green explosion happens, sending the Sludge villain back and Bakugo getting free. Then Aizuku falls down, passed out. The next day, Aizuku skips school. Aizuku and his mother heads to the doctor's office to go see what his quirk is. And Inko smiles as she walks in with her son Aizuku. And then the doctor says, "Miss Midoriya, we just have to do some tests on your son, then we're good." They then had to examine Aizuku. And so, they come out, and then they say, "Your son's quirk has the potential to be very strong, but he has to train it a lot, Miss Midoriya. Because right now, it would be considered an E-class quirk, but the stronger your son gets, the stronger his quirk gets. It's like a stockpiling quirk, but not really. It's just the stronger energy in his body he gets, the stronger his quirk. It's amazing, Miss Midoriya." And so Inko smiles and nods at them. And so then the next day, Aizuku's walking. And so then he sees this dirty beach and thinks, "What if I train here to get stronger?" And so then he starts picking up garbage and stuff. And so 10 months later, yeah, the last day before, like the day of the UA, Aizuku screams out, taking the last piece of trash as it falls to the ground. And then Aizuku falls to his knees, shirtless. And then the man walks up to him and says, "Kid, thank you for cleaning the beach." And he looks at them oddly, and he's like, "What do you mean?" And the man smiles. "I've been watching you for the past 10 months. You have cleaned this beach relentlessly, and as some advice for your quirk, I've read into it, researching it. I'm Tsukachi, a police officer here, and your quirk is amazing, young man. And so Tsukachi smiles and says, "Look at that beach." And so then he says, "Use a little bit of your power into a ball and throw it there." And so Izuku makes a green ball and throws it there. And so then Tsukachi grins as a huge whirlpool appears. And Tsukachi says, young man, that quirk is very strong." And so Izuku smiles at Tsukachi, saying thank you. And the man nods and says, "See ya, Izuku Midoriya. UA entrance exam." Izuku looks to see the gate as he stretches, well, getting his bones ready. And so then President Mike says, "Heroes don't wait for a start," as everyone takes off running with Izuku channeling that green ball of energy in his hands, throwing it at robots left, right, and left to right. And so then Izuku is just having fun, relishing the feel of the power of his quirk, loving it and loving how hard he trained to get this quirk. Or not, well, not get it, but achieve it, make it stronger. And so he vows to make his quirk stronger. And so then a robot appears in front of him, and for some reason, when the robot attacks him, a some kind of energy just sucks in the robot, exploding it. But Izuku shrugs as he runs off. And so like a few minutes later, Izuku with 45 points smiles. And so then he hears a big boom, boom, boom. And he runs to see a girl screaming out for help. But then he tries to run away, but they lock eyes. He doesn't know what's happening. It's like what happened back at the Sludge villain attack. He just running on his own. And so Izuku runs, and then lifts the girl. And so then she says, "I can't move my ankle." And Izuku looks up at the 0-pointer, nods. And so then Izuku channels his full power of his energy. And when people look behind him, they see a huge cloak of green energy. It's basically what the Nine Tails version of Naruto looks like, with the, like, cloak, you know? Like the Hokage Naruto, when he had the Nine Tails. Yes, sir, I spoiled it for you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take that. Imagine not being a manga reader for Boruto. Couldn't be me. Okay, anyways. Izuku, he looks at the at the 0-pointer, and so then matter, like energy, surrounds the robot's arms and legs and even chest. And so then Izuku's controlling it, and so then Izuku is able to lift it into the sky, and so then it explodes. So the antimatter reversed it, or like made it exceed so fast, the circuits and the matter exploded, like what antimatter is. And people look in awe at the power, but then Izuku falls on his back, knocked out. As Izuku wakes up, he goes home, thinking, "Only I wish I could have made it to UA." No, knowing with just 45 points, he probably won't make it. And he looks sadly walking home. For the next week, he just meditates. Hearing it helps you focus your emotions and energy. So he decides to. And so, yeah, he does it. So with this, 1 week later, Izuku's mom barges in. Izuku, it's from UA. And Izuku smiles. Oh, it is? He says happily. And so then he opens up the letter, and the letter shows, which is very cool. The letter shows All Might, and he screams out, All Might! And All Might grins. Izuku Midoriya, you wouldn't make it, sadly, with just 45 points. And Izuku looks sad as he nods and walks away to his bed. But then All Might says, but that's not it, young man. As he gets up from his bed and says, what? And so All Might says, you see, there's a secret part of the exam called rescue points. And young Midoriya, I'm a man of comedy, so I'm going to show you. As he shows the brown-haired girl, well, asking to give him some of her points. And so he says, young man, you saved her and many others during the exam. And so with that, I'll give you 60 hero points. And so it's going to add up to over 100. And so he says, so Izuku Midoriya, you're the number one prospect going into UA. So I'm here to tell you, welcome and join me in Boku no Hero, My Hero Academia. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Well, I would end it here, but I'm going to go a little bit past my limit, okay? Okay. A few weeks later, Izuku walks into UA saying, I wonder what kind of quirks are in here. With the calming practices that calmed his nerves, Izuku has become less nervous and less anxiety, and he's become an overall better person, a more confident individual. And his mom has seen that, encouraging him to meditate more. So, yeah. And so, well, now Izuku walks into class and sits down. Since he was more calmer and more faster, and like he had nothing to do, he just went to, well, UA. So he sees only Bakugo's there, and Bakugo grunts, so you're here. He glares. And Izuku nods, and he sits down. And so, like 30 minutes later, or 20, 15, I don't know, Aizawa walks in with the brown-haired girl right in front of him, and so he says, put on these sports uniforms, we're heading outside. The class reluctantly nods as they head outside for the exam. And so, well, yeah, they do. Okay. So, anyways, Midoriya, gets called up, and Aizawa says, yeah, Midoriya, what you get on your ball throw in middle school? Izuku says, 60 meters, I think, sir. And Aizawa nods and says, use your quirk with it. And Izuku nods, cocking back his fist. He explodes it with the huge, explosion happening. Not like Bakugo's explosion, but a huge, shockwave boom. And he gets 1,000 meters. Because antimatter is basically a reversed nuke. I looked it up. It is. And so it's like atomic. It's like atomic quirk, but it's different kind of some ways. So yeah. And so Izuku smiles as he as he gets a great score. And Bakugo knows he has a quirk now, but decides to not say anything, so he stays calm, thinking Deku can't do anything anyways. And so, Izuku gets great scores on the rest of the other stuff, And so he places fourth behind Bakugo, and Aizawa says Mineta and Toru get expelled. And they said, what? But we thought, but Mama wasn't shot. And they were like, but I thought that it was just one, the last place. And Aizawa grins. I just saw no potential in both of you guys, so you're both out. And they looked in horror as they left to the principal's office, getting expelled. And so, well, that's tough. I don't know what to tell you. Say goodbye. And, will this be it? Actually, I'm gonna do... I'm gonna do hero training. Okay. Next day, Izuku walks into class. Well, he's waiting in class, and All Might walks in. I am here as a teacher. And so, the class says, it's All Might. And so, and All Might grins, yes, I am here. And so, the class cheers, and well, now, Izuku wonders what's the class gonna be about. And so, All Might grins, well, class, will be doing hero training. And so, they get on their hero costumes. Izuku's the same without the bunny ears. And so, he gets placed on the same team for simplicity's sakes. And he gets, and he's with Ochako or Araka. And so they basically have the same plan. And so when Bakugo breaks through, Izuku hits him with a smash to the face, sending him across the wall. Then him and Ochako runs by him quickly, trying to get a jump on him. But Bakugo grabs Deku, throwing him with a wrestling move throw. And so him and Izuku have this fight while Ochako runs out. In the fight, it goes the same with Izuku getting more punches in. And so for the final clash, Izuku does a huge uppercut like usual. And it breaks through, but this time his arm doesn't break. And so Izuku captures Bakugo. And Ochako, gets the bomb. And so Lita gets named the winner, even though Izuku captured Bakugo. That gave him some more points, you could say. But it was mainly Lita. And so, yeah. And so, well, now, the next day, they are eating or walking to class, and so Aizawa says, today we're gonna pick a class trip. The class sweat drops, but then start saying, I want to be the class president. I want to be the class president. Everybody wants to be the class president. And so then Alita says, how about we do a vote? And so Izuku gets 5 votes, Momo gets 3. And so let's time skip to when lunchtime. Lita saying, I voted for you, Izuku. And Izuku looks up weirdly, why? And Lita smiles, I believe you're the best choice. And Nochako smiles, I do too. And Izuku smiles at them, thank you. And Lita nods. And then they hear a siren. Woo! 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 Yes, sir. And so, as they hear the siren, everybody freaks out. A 2-year student, this never happened before. So as Izuku gets pushed to a wall, he sees the press, as Lita does too. But then Izuku jumps up using his antimatter and says, guys, it's just the press. And Lita smiles. I knew he was a good vote. And so, he stays class president. And so this will go off to Denji. he will probably do the USJ and the sports festival, and if he doesn't, he's gay. And so, yeah, bye. And if you don't like it, I don't care. So, see you guys later.